All right, y'all. We're gonna get into it, starting with the Eastern Conference Finals and everything that's going on with all of that. So right now we have it that the currently, when this is being filmed, there is a game tonight, but the Heat are up 2-1 against the Celtics right now, and a big part of that is all thanks to Jimmy Butler, because honestly, in Game 1 he kind of went silly. He scored 41 points, 12 of 19 shooting. He was almost perfect from the free throw. He went 17 of 18. Also had 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Which I'm sure my boy Caleb is not too happy about that because he is a Celtics fan.
Yeah, guys. I mean, we played bad in the third quarter. We played a good first half. I think the Celtics played well. I mean, they played their brand of basketball. They played hard defense. Even though they hustled for every ball, they played well. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown had a solid game, but once the third quarter came, the Heat started to play, and the Celtics pretty much just didn't. And then getting into that second game, I think the Celtics figured they needed to bounce back a little bit. I think Jason Tatum mentioned in the post-conference that they need to step up. They need to bring it from start to end of the game. And they brought it for the full time, and I think that's really what changed. That's what changed, and then getting the 25-point win in the second game. Now in the third game, I think we saw a little bit more of the Celtics that we saw in that third quarter from the first game. We saw a lot of bad shooting. You know, you saw Jason Tatum in 41 minutes go, I believe, 3 for 15. Just not his kind of night. I mean, he can be a little inconsistent at times, although we'd like to see a better performance from him. Jaylen Brown really brought it out for the city of Boston. 40 points. Sadly not enough, but Al Horford also played a good game. Then on the other side of the ball, all Bam Adebayo. I believe he had 31 points, about 12 rebounds, and nobody in the Celtics front court could stop him. It was just really not a good game for any of the Celtics. And the Heat just played better, even though Jimmy Buckets was sent out within about 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, like Caleb was saying, Game 2 was not as big of a blowout as Game 3 was. You know, I mean, both teams played a little bit of good basketball here and there, but I guess the Celtics just wanted it more after that rough first game loss. And I mean, they fought for it, but like Caleb was saying, they just couldn't fight hard enough in Game 3. Also, Marcus Smart did go out with, I believe, an ankle injury in the game. He did return, but he wasn't playing the same, and I don't think it didn't seem like he was fully healthy going into that game, honestly. I mean, like Caleb saying, Bam was just going crazy last night, or the night the game was played, and then, I don't know, man, it just seemed like we were watching the same thing that happened in Game 1. They were just kind of playing lackluster, and I mean, like Caleb was saying, Jason Tatum's performance was pretty unacceptable for somebody who's supposed to be your star player and your team leader. I mean, 3 for 14 is pretty embarrassing, honestly, and I mean, after you're missing that many shots, you should stop shooting at that point just for a little while. I mean, everybody has good games and bad games, and clearly that was one of his bad games.
Yeah, big time. Just another thing I want to talk about was turnovers. I think turnovers were a big thing first game and third game. Well, I mean, in the first game, they were missing Marcus Smart, so Jason Tatum was given the heavy load of having to handle the ball most of the game, which, as a pure scorer and as a young scorer in the league still, Jason Tatum does not need 90% of the ball handling privileges. And I know maybe later in time he will get there, but when he has 6 turnovers or 7 turnovers in a quarter, in that third quarter during the first game, and then he gets a lot of ball handling privileges in Game 3, I think you start to see the same problem where he has, I think he's almost racked about 20 turnovers within the series, which is quite crazy for a player that doesn't have that many assists in the first place. I think the Celtics should probably hand those privileges over to Marcus Smart for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with what Caleb said about that. And honestly, I mean, Jimmy Butler, you can't deny it. I mean, he just generally happens to go crazy in the playoffs. I mean, he got them all the way down to the either the conference finals or the finals the year before. And then right now, before Game 3, he was averaging 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and on 53% shooting, which is honestly just crazy numbers. And he's also had 3 40-point games in the postseason alone, which is just crazy averages.
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets is quite the playoff player. I mean, we get to see it every year. The kid comes to play.